Hey there, my name is Stig and welcome to the brand new Windows 10 operating system. Now, I'm doing this video for a few reasons. One, there are a lot of people who are not familiar with operating systems and don't really know what they're going to be getting themselves into, as well as people that have asked me they're not quite sure if they should upgrade. Do they feel that Windows 10 is right for them? I know I have one friend who's on Windows 7. He hates Windows 8. I personally did not like Windows 8. But I can explain the Windows 10 architecture. There is a disclaimer for the actions that I'm doing. They are not for you to copy. They are just my personal settings. So don't think you have to do everything that I do, because it doesn't always apply to you. You should read the settings themselves and follow along and just see what works best for you, because not everything that I don't like, you may like. So please pay attention to that. Thank you. Now, first impressions, I thought it was very nice from when I saw it. There are a few different things, and there are a few things the same. Obviously, they want to make sure that all of your settings and all of your icons and every program that you have is compatible before you install it, so that they have a compatibility report, so it shows you what may or may not work. So here we have the new Start menu panel. So you can see most used. I have all of my most used. I don't use any of these, so I don't know why they're there. Regardless. So you see that they shrunk down the size of the Metro to this little tab window, and the left side you can have all your power and your apps and your settings, but on this side is the Metro side. It's what you'd normally have on Windows 8. So I'd imagine that they kind of assumed that people like Windows 7 more, but they wanted to keep the style, which I like the style, but I didn't like the architecture, like the structure of how it was built. So I figured they meant that conclusion, and they decided to combine the aspects of both. And I really think visually and architecturally I like this from my first impressions. I haven't gotten too far into it because I wanted people to just experience it for themselves. The upgrade is free, as if you've had a Windows 7, Windows 8 machine, there should be this little icon that tells you. And it's fairly easy. It takes about 5 hours or so, depending on your internet connection. You have to download a 3 GB file, and you also have to take about 3 hours to install, depending on how much power your computer is going to be installing it. You do it through your update system, so that's good. So a few of the new features that I noticed is this Action Center. It's located near over here. You can see it more or less enables a certain style or certain aspect that you're not really familiar with. So it kind of adds a phone feel to your computer, is what I took of it. So it adds your location on. You have airplane mode, which everyone knows what that is. It turns your internet off. Quiet hours. Some of them are more obvious. Bluetooth. So there's a note, so you can click note and you can go to OneNote, which I thought was pretty cool. And OneNote, you can jot whatever you need down. So it tells getting things ready, and you start using OneNote. Don't mind that picture. That was a Photoshop. I have no idea how that got on there. But the Connect is a new feature, I believe. It's more for wireless, but you can have audio devices as well. So it doesn't look like I have any devices that can connect, so it's not going to work that well, because I turned that off. I turned that feature off originally. So tablet mode is basically the equivalent of Windows 8. So Windows 8 was pressed on people. So here's tablet mode. It looks exactly like Windows 8. This is the mode that I was most familiar with because of being Windows 8 for a while. Let's go through all the menus. So we're going to go through the Windows Explorer and see how much different that is. So at first glance, it looks similar to Windows 8, but then I come up here. There's a new quick access panel, which I find really interesting. It's your most frequently used thing, so I feel like it's replacing the recent files thing as more of like a diverse. So it's frequent folders and files, so that just in case you just are a person that likes to use this feature, it's a lot easier for you to get around rather than having to click on these things. I personally click on everything. I see that your desktop is separated and then your OneDrive separated, and everything is somewhat separated. This is the quick access panel though, so that's good. It replaces the libraries, and it just has everything, all your most used folders and all of your other stuff. I do like the new style of which the arrows. I like the arrows better than the fill boxes, the fill box like points, because they're easier to see, as well as like they don't feel as clunky. Like when you have to go like you have to like look closely at the screen. So it goes from recycling bin all the way down. So your recycling bin is actually a new icon as well. It moved mine down. You can go to sort, you go by item type, and it puts the recycling bin always on the top. So back to this. So it has your OneDrive. I don't have that. I have that set up, but I think it's offline. Yeah, it's offline. I don't have that completely set up yet. So it's basically the same. It has your user and any other users that are in. And if you have an administrator account and you can see all the users, you can go through other users' stuff. But that's always fun. Pretty good. I want to say that if you go into the properties, you can still change. So it looks very similar, and I like that. They didn't change too much. They just changed styles. Alright, so going to photos, I don't like that. So I always go to change. They didn't change it much. They just changed the style. So I mean, I don't know. I always use the Windows 7 stuff because I feel like it's more convenient, and you don't have to open other apps and blah blah blah. Like, I never liked the app appeal to computers, and I still think that some people are gonna have to get used to that, and especially myself. I don't really like that, but I feel like apps should stay on phones because computers are more of a workspace. That's just my own opinion, though. So I do see that they changed a lot of the icons as well. It's the key calculator icon. For the majority, you can use the power options. The power options are the same. There's no click to point now, which is beautiful. A few other things that I wanted to talk about that I noticed. So where is it? This icon. This icon has a task view. So it's the same as the phone. You can see all your tasks, and what you can do is you can move them. Like, say there's another task here to move, and you just close them like that. I don't know if there's some hotkey. I didn't get really into this, but I wanted to show people that it's not as bad. It seems very compatible. The new icons for the Wi-Fi, the speakers, and your OneDrive if you use OneDrive. I don't personally use it. And then your Action Center, if there's any notifications that, like, you know, that old flag, they're actually going to be coming here. They're all combined now. So I like that. It compresses everything into one area, like specific things. So let's see. Ooh, I did not know about this. This is actually something I suggested to them a while ago. I was like, hey, can you make the clock a little bigger? Because it's kind of awkward just trying to like crane your neck into the corner. So I think they might have, a lot of people, or maybe just me, it's probably a lot of people complained about that is. And it also has its own new menu, which I think is beautiful. And everything opens up in these menus now. So you're going to have to get used to that if you upgrade. But, I mean, that's not too bad. You can minimize them if you want, I believe. Yeah, you can minimize them. And whenever you do that, your tray allocation will stay. If I open it again. So you can right click. So in order to get Task Manager and everything now, you have to right-click on the date and time. So, and you can choose whether or not you show the touchpad, the touch keyboard button, blah blah blah, the taskbar button, Cortana. I can get it. I'm getting into that in a few minutes or a few seconds. I don't know. So I do like this is a lot better, and it does real time. So I really like that. I really enjoy that. So now, see, your window tray allocation will adjust. It's always done that, but I don't know if people really know that. That if you say I go back into it, it's going to be like this now. So whatever size your tray is going to be, or not your tray, your window size. My bad. So this thing is still here, I believe. I want to say it's still here. Yeah, it's still here. It's just smaller. People were complaining it was slightly too big. Like, it's still there. Links, hold on. So open Windows, open Firefox. Some of them have some field strain stuff, so get ready for the waterworks. So I've already explained this. Stop. Stop! Well, that's gonna happen when you first do it. So this still works, which I like, and you can click it and it'll come back. So I'll be going over the differences in the properties as well. So we're going to go to personalize. We see that the background's a little different. So you can change your background now. So you just has that instead. There's no presets. There might be you can browse for the presets, but otherwise it's not as easy to do. Colors, I want to say, yeah, colors is the like how each thing is resembled. So if I turn the color on, so now you can see that that's a color now. Your selection is a color. You can see, if you turn it off, you can see that I don't know why that color doesn't change, but all these colors do. Maybe if I, yeah, if you, oh, I guess it's blue by default. That's interesting. So I'm gonna leave it blue, but I'm gonna darken it. How do you do that? So colors, you don't automatically pick a color. That's good. So I want the dark blue. There you go. So the themes is basically the same thing. The lock screen is actually a new addition to personalize. It's not really been there before, but Windows Spotlight. I guess you can use a background or a picture, which is better because it was conveniently hidden in Windows 8. So that's good. That has also your screen savers. I don't really deal with that shit. Settings is basically the same thing. Related settings, sound settings, all these settings aren't really related to themes, so I'm not really sure, but I guess you can get to all your sound and stuff too through that. So that's good. You can use your recording and your playbacks. So that's beautiful. So and then we have the start, which is this. So it shows recently added apps. I want that off. Most used apps. Recently showed, opened, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I don't know if I want these. Occasionally shows suggestions. No. And recently opened items. No. And then you can go back into your settings, and this is, I guess, the new control panel, I'd say. As for settings, I think settings is the new control panel, I'd imagine. Has your accounts, your personalization, your network. We're going to go to display settings, see how that changed. So it looks like display settings is actually system settings. It brings you to the system settings, which I really like, because you can get to everything from your desktop, and that's very beneficial. It saves a lot of time. You'd have to go into control panel and do this, or you'd have to type in display on your thing, or you can just right click and just find the settings here. I don't know which one's faster, but either way you can get to them by both. I haven't really tested the search menu out that well. I'm pretty sure you have to type accurately, or sometimes it'll just assume, so you don't want that to happen. Notifications, show me tips about Windows. I'm not gonna like that. So, app notifications you want to keep. And then it has show all these notifications. So the feedback, the sounds, I don't like these. I'm a soundless person. And then your apps and features is basically, it's gonna load all your programs, which it seems really slow loading, to be honest, but I don't know. Maybe I just have a lot of programs, I'm not sure. I think the additional feature is that it brings up everything. It sorts by size. That's the problem. So you want your default to be sort by name. Multitasking, so the snap still works. You can actually create virtual desktops now with, well, not with that. You actually right-click this, I believe. How did I do it last time? Oh no, you tip that and you hit new desktop. Which is kind of weird, to be honest. But, I mean, I don't know. Now, the newest aspect, I wanted to save this for last because it's very important that you understand what it is. Yeah, I'm Steak. You're welcome. So, this is Cortana. Cortana is the Windows version of Siri, if you were unfamiliar with that. Basically, you can search for anything now. You might have a mic, so you can sing vocally, I'm pretty sure. See, you have a vocalization thing right here, so you can speak. So let's see if it works with while I'm talking. Search. Yeah, I have to set that up. But you can set it up to be vocally if you have like an internal mic. It might be strong enough to do that. I'm not sure how qualitized, if that's a word, your internal mics are. But there are a lot of aspects to this. It adds a phone feel to your thing. It also makes some other stuff that you use your phone for convenient. They want you to be using Windows 10 as much as you use your phone in an aspect, because I'm one of those people that goes back and forth from using their laptop. Like, some days I just want to use my laptop and I don't want to use my phone. There's some days it's just like, why am I getting my laptop out? I don't want to do that. So I feel that they appealed to both aspects, and I really think they did a good job. There are some bugs that I noticed. I was talking to a person, and they said that if you hit the Windows and that at the same time that you want to it'll freeze. There's a bug, I guess. I haven't been able to successfully glitch it. I was trying to do that because I heard of the bug, but I don't want to do it during this session. Cortana runs off of Bing. If you're not a big Bing fan, I wouldn't worry about it. Bing is not as good as Google, in my opinion, but it does basically the same thing. It's somewhat similar. In some areas it's better, not the search area, but the other aspects they put more effort into, I believe. I honestly thought that was good. So aside from that, I really hope you enjoyed this video. It wasn't too in-depth, but I mean, I wanted you to get a feel of the system before you upgraded, and that way you can make a decision whether or not visually you want to upgrade or you just want to sit on Windows 7 or Windows 8. I personally, if you have Windows 8, I want you to upgrade to Windows 10 because it's quite better. And Windows 7, I mean, there's a lot of areas. At my work, I only have Windows 7, and I don't think we're going to upgrade. In order to upgrade, just remember you have your icon. It takes a while. I'm not sure if mine did. I do know that it's a timing process. They do it when you reserve your copy. You're in a process queue, so I had to wait a few hours before mine would queue up. So there's that. I hope you enjoyed Windows 10 as much as I have been enjoying it. I think it's upgradable. It's definitely a change, but I think it's a good change. Alright, take it easy, people.